You know, for me, it was one of those things where I wasn't sure if they were going to be more related to the main lake or some of the backs of these creeks. But this time of the year, a lot of the shad are moving towards the backs of these pockets and things like that. And that's really what I was looking for. So, you know, I started the morning in the back of a little creek where there's a bridge, and you know that's a good funnel area. A lot of times it'll create a little bit of current. And I was just mainly trying to see if there was bait fish around, and I started right off throwing a spinner bait. I lost a 3-pounder right off the bat, missed a couple more, caught a keeper. You know, I had like 5 or 6 bites in the first 30 minutes before the sun got up and it was good and shady there. So I knew there was a lot of fish around there. I just didn't see the bait fish activity. So that just kind of clued me into, you know, that's an area that these fish were keying on. So I just started hunting around the lake until I found more areas like that. And that's really how I ended up catching all the fish that I did today. You know, I tried a few other things. I tried fishing some isolated duck blinds. I tried to go up on the north end and fish some cypress tree points, and just only had one bite doing that. So I, you know, in the second round, halfway through, I got back onto that pattern in the backs of these pockets and was able to close it out.
We saw you kind of go there this morning in that one pocket, and normally either you just don't get a chance to because of people that stay behind and fish what you fish, or you're just so good at finding new water. What made you go back into that same spot all day long?
You know, I just saw a lot of activity there. I wanted, you know, I'd like to go someplace else, but the thing that I really liked about that area is the clarity of the water. A lot of the other areas I went to, water was really dirty and muddied up. Here on this lake, if you got the wind pushing into an area, it does stir it up quite a bit. And this area obviously has been protected for a few days from whatever wind we've had, because it was quite a bit clearer than any place else that I saw. And again, there was a presence of a lot of shad. You could see that when you were watching me there, and the whole cove is just shad on the top. And that's what you got to find this time of year. Is if you find the bait and you find good habitat, the bass are going to be close by. And that's what I did. Is I found an area that had a lot of bait, and just had to work hard to find the bass.
What was your top producer for the day?
I probably caught the most fish on a KVD 1.0, but a KVD 1.5 was my best bait, just because, you know, it's a little heavier, and it's just a lot easier to cast with accuracy around those docks. You know, I was trying to throw it underneath the docks and lay downs and get it tight to cover to make a real accurate cast. You know, when I finally got into an area where there were a little bit of schooling activity and they were just out on a flat, I could just zing that 1.0 out there, and it's so subtle and it's got a lively action that it's just a killer. I mean, it's a bait that is my go-to bait on tough days like this. So those two really put it together for me. I think I caught one fish on a spinnerbait, and every other fish came on those square bills.
What was key to triggering strikes when it got to be such a grind?
You know, for me, it was either, you know, bouncing the crankbait off a dock piling or a cypress tree or rocks. And then even there, when I was catching them in the open, there was a couple little stumps out there and a little bit of brush, and I'd kind of have to hit that little 1.0 on that cover. You hit the cover and just kind of slow it up, and bam, they would get it right then. So, you know, it's typical square bill fall pattern type deal. You know, it's one of my favorite things. That's why we built it for conditions just like this.